it's quick, free, and allows us to continue bringing you great content. Your support means everything. Let us keep this channel growing. Collectively, thank you very much. Now let's begin the video using Atherway. For obvious reasons, with certain specifics modified to preserve anonymity. So I'm Sarah, 38, female, and a need to get this off my chest. Do you know those family dynamics in which one child can do no wrong while the other appears to be invisible? Yes, welcome to my life. Everything was very typical. Until I was 8, I was an only kid, and while my parents were not particularly warm and fuzzy, they were present. I suppose Mom would help me with my homework, and Dad would occasionally take me fishing on Lake Street. Claire, we weren't the Brady Bunch, but we were fine. Then came the night that would change everything. I recall my Aunt Kelly showing up at 2 a.m. and telling me to pack a suitcase because Mom was in the hospital. My sister Rachel was on her way, but something was wrong. She wasn't. Mianto arrived for another 2 months. The following few weeks were a flurry of hospital visits and hush chats. Rachel was really little. She looked like one of my baby dolls, but with all these tubes and cables, I wasn't allowed to touch her or get too close. That was the first time I felt it, an invisible wall forming between me and the rest of my family. When they eventually brought Rachel home, our house turned into a sterilized bubble. Mom had an obsession with germs. I am talking industrial strength disinfection throughout, hand sanitizer stations in each room, and constant cleaning. The harsh odor of bleach still causes me distress to this day, but here's the bit that really messed me up. Whenever I showed the slightest symptom of illness, I was whisked off to either Grandma Marie or Aunt Kelly's house. Someon, every time sneeze once, pack your bags, a mild cough, you're off to see Grandma. At first, I thought it was enjoyable. Grandma Marie would make cookies, and Aunt Kelly had a fantastic collection of Nancy Drew books that I was working my way through. But children are not stupid. After a while, you begin to understand what is actually going on. You are not being sent away on adventures. You are being handled as a threat, as if your entire existence could damage your beloved sister. I tried everything to gain their attention in a healthier manner. Honestly, everything got all A's. Mom would scarcely look up from Rachel's most recent doctor's appointment calendar. Won first prize in the scientific fair with a project about renewable energy. Dad just asked if I could store the display board in the garage since Rachel is allergic to cardboard dust. Is this even a thing? The real kicker came when I was 12. For months I'd been practicing for the school talent show, teaching myself to perform bridge over troubled water on the piano. I know it's a little too obvious. Rachel had a 99.1 Fahrenheit fever on the night of the show. Guess who did not have anyone in the audience? Meanwhile, 2 weeks later, the entire family, including both sets of grandparents, attended Rachel's 15-minute flute recital, during which she essentially killed hot cross buns. Rachel immediately learned how to use the system. By the age of 7, she had outgrown any real health difficulties, but that didn't stop her from performing. Headache, must remain home from school feeling tired. Someone else. Guess who should perform her tasks? Worried about Ada's mom would literally call the school to have the deadline extended. I began spending more and more time in my room immersed in books about art history and antiques. It's funny how life works out. Sometimes my room became my sanctuary, mostly because Rachel claimed she was allergic to my lavender air freshener, so it was the only place she wouldn't go. Do I know what is actually wrong when she pretended to be sick? A part of me felt grateful. At the very least, I'd be to Kento Grandma Marie, where someone would ask about my day or be interested in what I was about. Grandma was the one who sparked my interest in vintage jewelry. She had an incredible collection of costume pieces that she let me organize and catalog. I suppose I should have regarded it as prophetic. The worst thing wasn't even the clear favoritism, it was how they rewrote history to excuse their actions. Rachel just needs more attention because she had such a rough start. Sarah's always been so independent. Sarah understands that her sister has special needs. I did not comprehend. I was a child who didn't understand